Hello AOS fans, it's me Pete, and I'm coming to you with another deck video. This week I've got Mollog. That's it, I'm Mollog's mob. It's the first game with the new warbands. I'm playing Mollog, Robin's playing the Hunt. Let's see how we get on, eh? So we decided to give ourselves a few limitations for this first inaugural match. We are limiting ourselves to just the cards that you get in the Mollog box, in the Hunt box, in the Echoes of Glories box, and the basic Nightvault box itself. So basically the new warbands, the little extra pack, and the main box. This is for anybody out there who has seen the new warbands, they're interested in the new warbands, and they figure, what can I do with the new warbands and the box, and maybe that extra little pack over there. So we are limiting ourselves quite a bit. So with that in mind, I've built up a deck which I think takes most of the Mollog cards. So as always, I'll crash on with my objectives, and the first one I have is Demolished. Score this one if you do an attack with 5 damage or more. Well, that should be pretty easy with Mollog. He knocks out 4 once he's inspired. A great strength should sort him out nicely. It's instant score and it's 1 glory. I then get Earn Your Keep, which is kill somebody with something other than Mollog, so the Stalag Squig, Bat Squig, or the Spike Shroom. Now once they're inspired they do 2 damage. Should be fairly easy to pull off once they get inspired. Against most warbands, nearly everybody has a 2 damage warband. Again, that's instant score and another 1 glory. Might be a little harder to score than some of the others. I then got Them, which is you score immediately again for 2 glory at the beginning of your activation if there are 3 or more enemy fires adjacent to a friendly Mollog. Well, that should be fairly easy to do as long as my opponent's fairly bunched up. Mollog is pretty manoeuvrable actually with his ability to move and charge, or once he's inspired, charge and charge, so I should be able to run him into position when I need to. 2 instant glory mid-turn would be very nice. And then Dashed Hopes, kill someone who's inspired. With the way Mollog knocks him out of the park, that should be pretty easy to achieve. I then got Hoarder, score in the 3rd end phase if you have at least 9 unspent glory. Now I'm hoping I can do well with this deck, so an extra 3 glory for doing well and not having to spend too many upgrades would be very nice. I then got Indomitable Defender, which is score in an end phase if a single surviving friendly fighter was the target for at least 3 attack actions. Well, if you're going after Mollog, you're going to have to throw a lot of attacks at him, and I reckon he can survive a fair beating, so 2 extra glory for that would be very handy. I then got Keep Chopping, which is scoring an end phase if your warband made an attack action in 4 or more activations. This might be a little harder to score. It is 2 glory, and Mollog himself can make 2 attacks for the most part, so you've just got to be careful how you work things out with the whole structure of the board. I have got some cards to hopefully move Mollog into position, so that one should hopefully be scoreable. I then have a Long Strider, score immediately when a friendly fighter makes a second move or a subsequent move action in a single action phase. Well, that should be pretty easy to do with Mollog because he can move and then charge, or charge and then charge. Either of those will score me Long Strider. I then have Martyred. Now, some of my squigs are going to die. As much as we don't want it to happen, Stalag Squig, Bat Squig, Spike Shroom, one of them's going to die at some point, and if they're first to go out, I'll get a glory. I then have Massive Overkill, scores immediately if a friendly fighter takes an enemy out with an attack action that deals the amount of damage that is at least twice the target's wounds. Well, as I said before, Mollog does a lot of damage once inspired. A great strength can make him even more dangerous, and you've only got to score at least twice the amount of damage, so 4 damage will be enough to take out a lot of opposition party members. I then got Singled Out, put 3 upgrades on a fighter. Well, Mollog's going to take a lot of upgrades on him, so I might as well get something for that. And Strong Start, score immediately if I kill someone. Again, Mollog's going to be going around pounding people into the ground, so I might as well get a glory for that one as well, and it's another instant score. So those are my objectives. 7 instant scores in there. I'm really hoping to be able to pile on the kills early with Mollog, get some glory and whack on some upgrades to him as quickly as I can to keep him alive and then increase his effectiveness. That's the plan. As always with these things, if you can't hit for toffee, then your plans go out the window. But I'm hoping Mollog and his guys should be able to swing the bat well enough and take a few people down and hopefully earn a whole pitload of glory at the same time. So what am I going to use to score that glorious glory? Well, these are my gambits. Again, I've taken a lot of the Mollog cards here, and the first one in there is Brutal Savagery. The first attack action made by a friendly fire gets +1 dice, very handy for Mollog because he only rolls 2 hammers. The next is Flit. Push a friendly Bat Squig up to 3 hexes. Hopefully I can shove him up the board, get him into a supporting position, or use him to attack somebody the following turn. Next one is Hobble. This is great because the Stalag Squig can start right next to somebody. If I get that at the beginning of the game and I've got someone near Mollog, I can use that, hopefully get a roll of a hammer or crit to place a move token next to them, and then they're going to be stuck there as Mollog bears down upon them and smashes them to a pulp. And then there the whole time. The Stalag Squig is probably going to die because he is going to start right in my opposition half of the board, So on a hammer or crit, I can pick another one, put it back on the board again after he's dead. Thank you very much. And then I have Wind Up, +1 damage to the first attack action made with a range of 1 or 2 in the next activation. Mollog does 3, that'll up him to 4. If he's inspired, that'll up it to 5. Very handy for scoring some of my objectives. Next one is Aggressive Defense. It's a reaction played when someone attacks you, so you can't roll a defense. So you are guaranteed to get hurt, mostly, unless your opponent completely misses. But you can't be pushed back, and after the attack action, you can then attack your opponent. Great for Mollog, gets him an extra attack out, possibly making him able to make 3 attacks depending on how things go. Could be very handy indeed. And then got Commanding Stride. Push your leader up to 3 hexes, but they must end this push on a starting hex. Well, I like the idea of getting this one on Mollog. He's going to be right up front and centre, so I can use this to push him forwards into my opponent's half and really get him in there and start to cause chaos before he's even done anything. And then I have Determined Effort, +1 dice for the next attack. Same as Brutal Savagery, both of those will be very handy to hopefully up Mollog's attack dice rolls. Then Fearful Visage. Choose a fighter, and the first fighter to make an attack whilst adjacent to him in the next activation has -1 dice, minimum of 1. Very handy for anyone who wants to go up against Mollog with anything other than a ranged attack. Grievous Riposte is next. You play after an attack action with a range of 1 that targets a friendly fighter and fails. If you roll any crits in your defence, then the attack suffers 2 damage. Well, if you rolled some crits, the chances are your attacker's attack is going to fail, and if that's the case, you might as well do 2 damage to them. A nice extra couple of damage back. Very handy, especially on some of the squigs who might roll multiple defence dice. And Regal Vision. I've put this in here because at some point, Mollog might not take enough wounds to get inspired, and if he doesn't, I want to inspire him as quickly as I can. So if I get this, I can chuck him onto an objective and inspire him. Thank you very much. So those are my gambits. Once I've used them to score that glorious glory, what am I going to buy with them? Well, these are my upgrades. The first one is Foul Temper. You can reroll 1 dice in each attack action from Mollog. It is actually for any attacker, but it's almost definitely going to go on Mollog. Foul Temper, I really feel a kindred spirit with him on that one. Horrific Stench next. Enemy fighters next to this fighter are considered to have 1 fewer supports. Again, it's not Mollog specific, but it's probably going to go on him. Next one is Inescapable Jaws, Bat Squig only, and basically hammers and swords successes when he makes a charge action. Very nice indeed. I then got JABBERTOAD, not really sure about this one. It's a knockback 1, 3 sword, 3 range, 1 damage attack. On critical attack, it has knockback 2 instead of knockback 1, but you have to discard it after you make an attack with it, and it's Mollog only. I'm not sold on it, but it looked like a laugh, so I wanted to take it. And then Regenerate. At the beginning of each round, remove 1 token from Mollog as he regenerates. And the last one is Spore Cloud. Scatter 2 hexes from the fighter's hex. An enemy fighter in any of those hexes suffers 1 damage. It's for the Spike Shroom only, but I thought it's a nice little ranged attack action there. Could be quite helpful. I've then got the usual Great Fortitude, Great Speed and Great Strength. These are to help my squigs get a bit more tough, my Mollog get a bit more fast, and my squigs get a little bit more damagey. Then got Potion of Grace. My theory here being hopefully I can put it on Mollog, I can move him and then use Potion of Grace to remove the move counter. I can then charge or move with him again, and hopefully by then he'll be inspired as well, and I can charge with him a second time. Mollog can be very, very fast with a few simple upgrades. And the last one is Tomb of Offering. If this fighter takes an enemy fighter out of action, gain an additional glory. Well, with 7 instant score glory in there, Tomb of Offerings as well, I'm hoping I can get Mollog so he's taking out somebody and getting 3 glory a pop. I should be raking in and easily able to score Horde with that one. So those are my cards. Like I say, we've limited ourselves just to the new warbands and the Nightvault and the Echoes of Glory set. So let me know what you guys think. Is it a stinker? Is it a winner? I think there's a few cards in there I'm not 100% sure on, but I think overall I quite like this deck. We'll see how it goes on in the Mirrored City. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if there are any cards that you think are terrible on reread. I shall see you soon. Bye!